Call to order the City Council meeting of Apache Junction of February 6, 2024 to order, and ask everyone to put their phones on silent or turn them off. And the invocation will be led by Councilmember Peter Heck and pledged by Councilman Johnson.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being able to gather together this evening to discuss city business. We ask that you give the staff and council wisdom and clarity in their decision-making. We ask you to watch over the men and women who serve in our military the world over. Keep them safe in these turbulent times. We ask also for your blessing on our first responders, including our police and fire departments, along with our EMS personnel. Please keep these brave men and women safe in their duties to protect and care for the residents of this city. We thank you for the honor and privilege we have to serve the residents of this great city. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Present.
Councilmember Cross,
Here.
Councilmember Heck,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Here.
Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Soller.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So we have a new microphone system, and as you're speaking, just do normal. Matthew McNulty is in the back adjusting it. He's able to adjust it for all of us for audio here and for audio on streaming. So just keep doing your best to stay close, and he's going to be working it.
But not too close.
But not too
Not
close,
too
yeah.
close, yes.
What do they want these knobs to be turned on to the speaker?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What level of the knob?
That's just for the speaker up there. It has nothing to do with the volume of the microphone.
Yeah, that's just for you to hear.
Good to know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, as a reminder, all items on our consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for further discussion, the request must be made prior to approving the consent agenda and will be moved to new business. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move the consent agenda be accepted and the consent items be approved as
Second.
presented.
Second.
Second, moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, I have a proclamation here for designating the month of February as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month for February 2024. Whereas each year in the U.S., nearly 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from their dating partner, and whereas in the U.S., 1 in 3 teens will experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, and whereas only 33% of teens who were in an abusive relationship ever told anyone, and whereas teens who suffer dating abuse are subject to long-term consequences like alcoholism, eating disorder, promiscuity, yeah, thank you. Thoughts of suicide and violent behavior. And whereas the city of Apache Junction and the community must work together to ensure the safety of our teens and create a world where every teen can live free of dating violence. And now, therefore, I, Chip Wilson, the mayor of the city of Apache Junction, Arizona, do hereby proclaim the February 2024 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Mr. Johnny John. Gosh. Want to say a few words too?
Eli, come on up here.
Okay.
Your Honor, just real quick, Matt, do you see anybody here that might be from it?
No, I don't think there's any representatives from CAFA here
Yeah,
today.
I was wondering. We were just wondering if we had anybody. Okay.
I don't see anybody from CAFA. Mayor, City Council, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and for the proclamation. Raising teens myself, it's something I've always been able to talk to them about. I think that 1 in every 3 that's been subject to some type of abuse are high numbers. I think it's important that we put this on the radar, and we do everything we can to work with our community and the organizations such as CAPA to educate our youths and educate our parents on what to look for and what to do if there's violence. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any council member have any intergovernmental meetings that you'd like to discuss?
Did you want to talk about GPAC?
No.
I'll say something.
Okay.
Go ahead, I was there.
Okay.
This last week, GPAC had their monthly meeting, and I was able to attend it for the first time down in Phoenix. And they talked mainly about housing, and they had Elliot Pollock from well-known economic advisor for the state and around the country. And the projection is that, you know, even though we're building a tremendous amount of high-density housing throughout the valley, we're kind of at that point right now where we're able to meet the needs, but the projection in the next 2 years is it's going to drop drastically again. We're going to be back in the same hole we are. The other, they also had I can't remember the gentleman's name from Brookfield, which is building the property down south from us, how to come up with different ways of getting people into homes and being able to afford the payments. And so they're pushing, like D.R. Horton did in buying down the interest rate. They're doing that as well, or talking about doing that. But something else that really caught my attention is they're talking about maybe trying to pursue a 40-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage. And we see how they've done that with automobiles over the years. It used to be you got a 5-year mortgage or a 5-year payment term, and now you get trucks that are over $100,000 and you got 10 years to pay it off. So by moving that out 10 years, it definitely would drop the payments down to where people could afford it. So it's different ways of tweaking things and trying to make a go of the situation. So it was a very informative meeting, and look forward to attending another in the future.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, some of us went to the Republic recycling plant that just opened. Very impressive. It's very high tech. It's AI. It sorts stuff at a phenomenal rate. And the interesting thing is they can use like 99.9% of the plastics now, where they used to not be able to. It can sort it out. They have a plant in Vegas that can make it all back into plastic again for bottles and stuff. So it's going to recycle most of our plastic waste. So it was very impressive, and had a good time, and hopefully it works the way it's set up to do. So.
Okay, I've got one. This, I'm going to say a little over a week ago now, went up to Sedona to go with the city manager that was awarded the Arizona City County Management Association Professional Excellence Award, the John J. Dubowski. This award is for his professional and personal contribution to our community that he serves, his contributions to advance the community through leadership, advocacy, development of others in this job, the exceptional service to our community and to the ACMA organization. I also want to express my thanks to his leadership in our community and want to say this was a very deserved award for Bryant Powell. Thanks for your great dedication to our community. And here is the award that was presented to him. Whoops, excuse me, got close to the mic. And it was a great opportunity. As you can see, he's had the opportunity to speak to everyone for a period of time. And it was something that was very unique. And we got us a lot of rain when we were there in Sedona as well. Do you want to say something?
I'll just say, Your Honor, it's just been a tremendous honor to be able to be a part of the Apache Junction community. We've lived here 23 years now. I can't believe it. And it's an honor to represent the city in this Arizona City County Managers Association and to be given this award by your peers. It's something you never think might happen. And I hope that I've done done well to represent Apache Junction and to represent the profession of local government. All of this is because I have great team. My department directors and those who support the work that's done here is really the great part of what I get to do. And I'm so grateful for them because they're the ones every day doing it and bringing on great people to do the work. And so to me, this is a reflection of all of us as a city that we have this ability to be recognized in this way. So had some fun sharing a little bit about Apache Junction and the great work we're doing through this process as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
the new system.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just don't want this to be downplayed because this is a really big deal, this award. This is city managers from all over our state, and City Manager Powell actually was awarded this by his peers, and it is a big deal. I talked to the city manager of Mesa, and he explained to me just how big of a deal it is, and I want to make sure that you really get the recognition you deserve and your team.
Yes.
Enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. City managers report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm happy to
Excuse me.
provide this report tonight. I have 3 items. Matt, could you, yep. So we're very pleased to be able to now have this completed, and we're so excited. And the majority of the funds, and the greatest part of this, we're working through the sounds, is that this was contributions by our groups, veterans group, to help make that happen. And so thank you for bringing that to our attention, and Councilmember Johnson and your group for participating in the way you did. So that's done. I wanted to make sure the community saw that, and thanks to Liz and her team. Over the years, we've had many different ways to measure and look at how we're doing as a staff to and find out how we can improve our services. We recognize that folks, as they interact with us, understand QR codes. And so what we've done over the last couple months, thanks to Eli and his team, which is get some information out on the counters of our offices. So folks, if you scan that through your phone, you can click a link. It goes to a 2-minute survey that asks some basic questions of why were you interacting with us today? What brought you to City Hall? How was the service we delivered? And so far, we've got some very positive reactions, and if there's opportunity to correct, we have an opportunity as well there. We want to do the best we can, and we can't do that unless we know. So we want to be out there asking. Yeah, maybe not that phone, Mayor. That flip phone won't work.
No, it won't.
So you do need as Joel might, a super smartphone, Joel. You've got one now. And as we move forward as well, since becoming the city manager, we've every other year utilized a tool for surveying our community called the National Citizen or Community Survey through the National League of Cities. And we do this statistically validated mail survey to the residents every 2 years. And we monitor trends over time on how we're doing. It's always been out on the internet. We let folks know and in terms of our customer service. So how do folks feel how safe they are? How do they feel about the interactions they're having at the library? So that survey is going out. It just finished the statistical mail-in, but the thing that we have now is an opportunity. We're going to send out tomorrow a link that we want to get feedback through our website. We'll be placing it on our website tomorrow morning, as well as sending out through our social avenues a link so folks can get on and give their 2 cents on how we're doing. So I wanted you to be aware of those 2 initiatives as it relates to our interactions. We recognize that we exist to serve the public. That's the sole purpose. And we need to find out, and how do we do that? We've got to ask. And so one's kind of an interaction you have in the interface right up front at the counter, and we hope people that we've had interactions that aren't perfect, and we need to improve. This is a kind of overall arching one, and so we'll keep you posted as we get the results on this one like we've done in years past. Matt, that concludes my part. Can you take the next piece on current events?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of announcements tonight, but we are getting closer to the Lost Dutchman Marathon. As a reminder, you can go to lostdutchmanmarathon.org to sign up. There are no more spots on the full marathon, but the other races do have spots, and that's coming up on February 18th, so we encourage the community and those who want to participate to get signed up. And, of course, a reminder, if you go to our homepage, www.apachejunction.az.gov, you can sign up for our weekly update newsletter, and where you hear about events coming up like Lost Dutchman Days and lots of other good stuff. So just a reminder for all the citizens who are interested in hearing more about us. And that's all we have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Public hearings. Consideration for an application for permit extension of premise for FOE Lost Dutchman Erie, number 3850. Jennifer.
Thank you, Your Honor. City Council. Tonight before you is an application for a permanent extension at the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Lost Dutchman Erie, number 3850, located down at 2315 South Coconino Drive. The correspondence sent out to our Police Department, Building and Safety Division, Planning and Zoning, and Superstition Fire and Medical District have all come back. They are all recommending approval. When we did receive the application, we did remember that they had purchased this building back in 20 or 21. We reached out to Dev Services because the initial plan that they had drawn us showed a connection to the building. So they went out and checked the site. This is their design rendering on the completion, and so they are working with Dev Services at this time for all of their building permits and inspections, and they have pulled that. So the applicant tonight, Michael Reed, is here if the City Council has any questions. And again, this is here for a public hearing.
Okay, does the applicant want to speak?
Good evening, Mike Reed, trustee from the Eagles. Just want to say thank you for your consideration of this. It's been a long haul trying to get this done, and I'm just trying to get it taken care of, because it does take time to do all this stuff. So basically, we're going to use this as a non-smoking. The area that we're talking about is going to be a non-smoking area for our club, because as being a private club, you have to go through votes. But we decided that this was going to be a non-smoking area, and that's what we're looking for. Okay? Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you very
Nope.
much.
Thank you. Any discussion among the council? See shaking heads. As a public hearing, would anyone like to speak on this item? Don't get up and move fast. Okay. I will now close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the application for permanent extension of premises for the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Lost Dutchman Erie, number 3850, located at 2315 South Coconino Drive, Apache Junction, Arizona, be recommended for approval
Second.
to the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser.
Yes.
Councilmember Heck.
Yes.
Councilmember Soller.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Cross.
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, Your Honor.
Okay, we have no outstanding old business, so we'll go to new business. Liz.
All right, good evening, Mayor Wilson, members of council. I'm here to talk about our invasive plant grant that we received from the Department of Forestry and Fire Management. Tonight, so Liz Langenbach, I'm the Parks and Recreation Director. I also have with me Elliot Anuda. He is our Outdoor Programs and Natural Resources Coordinator. Half of the year, he's also our Aquatics Coordinator, but he's been very instrumental in us getting all of our invasive grants projects started, as well as doing a lot of the new things that we're doing out at Silly Mountain program-wise. So just a little bit of background, the Department of Forestry and Fire Management, I'll refer to them as DFFM the rest of today. They've worked with the city to assess and advise on bufflegrass and other invasives at Silly Mountain for about 2 years now. We have been working closely with the Gold Canyon community, as well as many of the other groups that are working in the Superstition Mountain area, such as Friends of the Tonto, that have been really dealing with a lot of different invasive issues in our area. Our city's grants office submitted an application in the summer of 2023, and we were awarded a $193,000 grant from DFFM in the September-October timeframe. This is a 3-year grant, so we'll be bringing in that money and doing our project over the next 3 years. And so just want to give you a little bit of background of why we're where we're at. So in the desert, Sonoran Desert in particular, healthy deserts have open space. So if you look out, you should be able to see bare ground, maybe some of our native grasses out there, but the photo on the left is what we want our desert to look like. On the right is when we start getting invasive grasses coming in, they choke out a lot of the native species. It obviously, if you even just looking at that, that is definitely looks more like a wildfire hazard. It creates more fuel for those wildfires, and then it tends to carry that fire a little bit longer, and it can burn a little bit longer around some of our protected species like saguaros and some of the things we want to keep in the desert. So photo on the left is really what we want to be seeing out there. So we want to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing to date prior to this grant. So Elliot and his team, we've had several staff and volunteer removal events at Silly Mountain, primarily along the trail corridor to kind of keep that area cleaned up. You can kind of see up here, we gave a little demonstration of, again, back to that original photo, we want to see some of the spacing that's out here. All of this is bufflegrass. And so there's acres of bufflegrass that we were able to remove by hand, but we're not even close to what the real problem is out at Silly Mountain with just our internal efforts. In addition, we partnered with ASU Project Cities this fall. So they are working on a communication campaign for us that is going to target park users, residents, and then also potential volunteers. So we'll have 3 different campaigns going once we start this grant that'll help residents to know what they can be doing in their own yards and in their own open space areas. We'll be sharing with our park users what they can be doing to help us so that they're not tracking some of the seeds and some of the materials that help with the spread of invasives. And then we'll have a separate campaign to really do a big outreach effort to potential volunteers, because our long-term strategy really is to get more volunteers and a little bit more help once we are able to manage the invasive grass problem. And then the final thing that we've done so far prior to this grant is working with our GIS team here in the city to create a map for inventorying and kind of monitoring of our invasive species. There's 3 major invasives that we're going to be focusing on our grant. Bufflegrass is probably about 95% of what we're working on, and that one is really just super highly flammable, and again, it just burns for a long time. It can be a major wildfire threat. Everybody in the community, I'm pretty sure, is aware of stink net now, so we don't have as much of that out at Silly Mountain, but you see it all throughout, and so we'll be really targeting our education campaign on what people can be doing about that, when is the proper time to pool, when is the proper time and the proper products to use for spraying, and there'll be other organic and other types of things for those that don't want to be using chemicals. And then third is fountain grass. So unfortunately, fountain grass is an ornamental grass that people would get from a nursery, or they would get someplace and they would use it decoratively in their property. It is now not allowed in any of our developments in a lot of areas because unfortunately it's highly invasive and it's starting to displace a lot of native plants. And then just like bufflegrass, it can be highly flammable. So we have a little bit of that in our right-of-ways, not a whole lot out of Silly Mountain.
So when we did our initial assessment with DFFM, we went out and did an inventory of the types of plants. And so the green is like, there's a whole lot more species there, so more plants. So anywhere from 20 plants to almost 1,000 plants are represented by the green dots. The lighter colored dots are like 1 to maybe 20 plants. Again, 95% of those are buffalo grass. We do have a little bit of stinknet out here in some of our botanical walk and in a few other areas that we will be addressing in this grant. Go ahead.
I said good.
Oh, yes.
It's horrid.
So we just wanted to share with you a little bit of what the grant components are. What are we getting for that amount of money? So one of the neat things that we're doing, and one of the most costly items, is we are contracting with a company that does drone herbicide pre-emergent applications. So the biggest challenge in Silly Mountain and other mountainous areas is getting workers to be able to climb into some of the rocky areas, some of the steep terrain where people aren't traveling, and being able to treat the buffalo grass that's there. So we have worked with a couple of different contractors to talk about, some of them have an actual licensed pilot that does drone, and then they also have that herbicide certification so that way they can be treating it. But they'll actually be able to fly above and spot treat exactly where those plants are. Additionally, so that's a neat thing, all of our Desert Defenders groups, so across the state of Arizona, we're part of a group that is working on invasives all throughout the state. Our whole group is anxiously awaiting that. We have people from pretty much every county and city that want to come see how that is working and being able to go back and apply that someplace else. So we'll definitely be a big pilot project for this. The second thing is contracting work for limbing up of many of our protected species. So basically lifting up a lot of those limbs and creating some more fire breaks along our trail areas to separate our mountain area from some of the homes, as well as some of our protected species, particularly saguaros and other things that we wouldn't want to suffer during a wildfire. We will be purchasing, part of this grant will help to purchase chemicals and as well as hand and mechanical, part of the grant is that we'll have staff and volunteers doing chemical as well as hand removal treatments. We'll be purchasing tools, equipment, and supplies for the removal. And then as I mentioned before, we'll be starting a communication campaign for residents, park users, and potential volunteers. So some of that will be print, some of it will be paid social media advertising, and then working with a lot of our local businesses to work on campaigns where we can, provide suggestions on what types of treatment plans that they should be doing, what types of herbicides and pre-emergents, work well. So we are working with a lot of the local folks to see, for them to be able to sponsor and help with this, for residents. And then finally, developing a sustainable volunteer steward program. So this grant is only good for these first 2 or 3 years. The idea is to get a handle on the invasives that are out there, to get it to a manageable level, and then staff and volunteers would be able to continue to monitor and treat things on a much more smaller basis and in a much more manageable way. So the total funds over the 3 years is $193,500 is what DFFM is contributing. Our in-kind contribution, which is our staff time, all of the maintenance staff that'll be working on it, Elliot, the folks from Public Works, all of those different entities, that's about a little over $35,000 contribution from the city. And then our cash contribution is about $10,000 a year towards, again, just some of the things that we're already spending on invasive grass mitigation now. So the total project is a little over $250,000 over the next 3 years. And then that concludes my report to you. We're just here really to give you a heads up about it. We are looking forward to getting that started. We hope to be starting in March and have our final agreement and everything ready to go for this project.
Liz, as far as when you're saying the volunteers to help for the cleanup, have you reached out to the CDC?
So they do work with us on Make a Difference Day. We haven't currently. We have been working on, we really just have started with the whole polling and all of that last year. So we'll definitely add them to our list as we work on our plan. It is a very targeted approach. There's only certain times that we want to pull, and we definitely have to have everybody kind of on board with the same action plan. So, great idea. Anything else?
Anyone else?
Sure. Along with you said CDC, right? Yes. ACC, Arizona Conservation Corps. They do a lot of trail maintenance and stuff, and I'm wondering if that would be a project that their young, very hardy workers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've done tremendous amount of work throughout the superstitions on the trails in the wilderness, out Picket Post Mountain and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know,
We'll make sure we write them down too. I think that's another great contact.
yes. And then the other comment regarding the stink net. I mean, that thing, it's going to be absolutely horrid this year because of all the rain we're getting right now. My yard's already starting to turn into a matted grass mess, and it's all stink net.
Yeah.
So,
And communities all over, especially in areas where there's a lot more open space, not quite as much development. I think really getting out a campaign and educating people about what's the best way to remove it, that it isn't chamomile tea, that you don't want to steep it, that it isn't something that is a flower, it's something that we really want to get under control. So, and then in our own parks and open spaces, you know, we will be learning a lot from this plan and implementing a lot of that into our parks, so 100%.
cool. Thank you.
All right.
Anyone else over here?
Thank you. More to come.
Thank you. Okay, that's pretty much all our business for tonight, so I'm going to go now to the call to the public. I'd like to remind everyone the call to the public is a courtesy and not required by law. It is a time for the public to express requests, communication, comments, and suggestions. Requests to speak forms must have been completed and handed to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, council cannot engage in a discussion on issues presented, but may respond to criticism, may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly, or place this matter on a future agenda for a council discussion. There's a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. And I'm going to start out with Jane Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I enjoyed the presentation down at the high school, but I just wanted to say that the link, the text link that went out didn't work. So those of us that get text messages from the city, it came out in January announcing that meeting, but the link didn't work. And I just tried it again tonight. It didn't work. But the one for the new K-9, who's called Tessa, that one worked. Tessa. Anyway, so I was thinking, I just wanted to get on record saying that there are students taking civics classes in high school. If the professors had known about this, there could have been some young people that then would have taken the information back home because they would have gotten extra credit for attending. And I think when you were announcing all the different groups represented, I think if you'd asked the citizens to stand up who weren't associated with the city, there might have been 20 or 30 of us. And that would have been it, the 20 or 30. So I just wanted to say that.
Your address, please.
Can I give it to you privately?
No,
Val Vista Road. So
Okay.
anyway, the thing I was meaning to talk about was the EV charging stations, electric battery charging stations. It's nationwide news today that we're making plenty of electric cars, and we don't have charging stations. And some cities, Tucson and Flagstaff, every building permit includes a charging station requirement. And I just think that maybe the city could start by providing some for employees. And then the employees or the city vehicles, some of those could be hybrid or electric. Because I think right now the only place you can charge is by the multi-gen. I don't know of anything, you know, when people are doing business here, like whatever business they have at the city. Thank you.
Keep going.
So the other thing, and this is a humorous thing, years ago, the location is the Havenly. I had proposed a science and tech center like the dome they have near Tucson. And I've noticed that the Havenly really isn't building very quickly, so maybe you could eminent domain it and make part of it science and tech and the rest of it college housing, because only a few units get garages, only a few units get porches. So I'm thinking that that's ultimately, if it goes the way it's going to be a timeshare. Because I don't know too many people that want to move somewhere and not have a garage. So I think it's going to be a visitor thing, and their website promotes 3 things about Apache Junction: that it's walking distance to a friendly, inexpensive town center, which is a nice idea, and also the horseback riding and the multi-gen. Those are their selling points.
Okay, Mr. Schroeder.
George Schroeder, 2444 West Virginia Street. I sent some of you an email today. We got a problem in the city. We got squatters. Just in my neighborhood, there's probably 40 squatters on somebody else's property. And I keep working with code. We get a few of them. Other than that, it's like down the road. We have a sheriff's deputy. Lives on Rennick and Superstition Boulevard. 10 years. It's 3, 4, 5, these fifth wheels, whatever, in front yard, backyard. 10 years. We can't get law enforcement to abide by their own laws. That's your problem, not theirs. So we're on the news every day now. Got problems with squatters there. We get them out of here, we go there. How many times have I called the police department on Walmart? It looks like a KOA or Safeway or Fry's or whatever. Acknowledgement, a few times, Mr. Powell has called Walmart to ask the store manager to get him out of there. Chief Kelly called. So some of the problems we have is not on our new police chief, but it's going to come down on him with regard to responsibility and outlook, what we can do to more be prepared for this. And I've told you, we have illegal aliens. We have mental ill people just wandering the streets. It's not a maybe. It's on our news networks. Okay, it's not a maybe. They know about it. But what they don't do is come and ask you, why don't you want light rail? Why don't you want people like that to come out to our city, for work ethics, for other reasons, for enjoyment? Because you don't want them out here. I've had several councilmen and past admins say they don't want those people out here. So how can you sit up here and say, oh, we're trying. You're not trying. You don't want them. I'm working with the county. I'm going on tomorrow. We're going to get some statutes to get people out of this city that are causing this crap to stay here. Make no mistake, they're gone.
Donna Carr.
Donna Carr, Apache Junction resident. I do agree with George on one thing, and that is the squatters. I have more crackheads walking down my street lately, so I don't know. I think you need to do something about it. And the recycle thing, you might want to educate the people on what actually is recyclable, because I see my neighbor sticking his palm tree leaf branches in the recycle bin, and they're not recyclable. So, and the other thing I wanted to bring up is, I don't know if you want to make an invite to maybe Sheriff Lamb to come out this way and talk to the people, and have the people at AJ voice their concerns. Because one of my concerns is after the 2 bodies that were burnt that were found, well, a third one was found this past week, and it's sort of getting a little close to AJ. So, something needs to be done about it. And considering the fact that it's on the outskirts, so it's not the AJ Police Department, it's considered to be Pinell County. But we're still Pinell County. So I'm just saying is maybe you can invite him here besides the fact that he's running for Senate, I believe. So, you know, he can talk to the people. So to invite him out. And on your speaker, in the back, I can hear this mic really good, but you guys sound really low. So see if you can maybe adjust that. Thanks.
Eddie Oley.
Eddie Oley, 2364 North Apache Drive. I'm here on the guardrail on Idaho and Lost Dutchman. I've talked to you guys about it before, and I know that you guys said it wasn't in the budget, or it was like too expensive, and you threw out some different alternative options. And you know, I would like to continue. I've waited around and I haven't heard nothing back, and it's been about a month now, and we're still kind of waiting. I'm fine with options, or you know, other alternative things like cables or concrete blocks or whatever you were talking about. We're fine with that, or even a temporary fence just to put it up there so it would block a vehicle from going all the way down the embankment and into my yard, which has already happened, and you all know it can happen, and it has happened, and it could happen again. And that's what I want to stop that from happening. At least maybe even just like a temporary fence up so that we know that there is something going to take place for us in that protection. Like I said, the neighbors are completely protected. Their water towers are completely protected from a car going off the embankment. But that embankment goes all the way down, and our home is completely unprotected, and it's already happened. And I just would like to get some kind of more, you know, enthusiasm on my side with that happening, and sooner than later. I'm just waiting around, and I'd appreciate if I can get with somebody and we can make something happen. Thanks.
Catherine Meek.
Mayor, councilors, my name is Catherine Meek, 1327 South Bel Air Road in Apache Junction. A lot of serious things being talked about tonight. I am more on the enjoying life and building community side of things. The past couple of weeks have been very busy at Superstition Mountain Museum. We had a record-breaking Saturday of our Native American Festival. Sunday brought rain, but we still had quite a few people come out and enjoy the presentations, the dancing, the music. So thank you for those of you who came out and helped. Really enjoyed seeing all the rangers out there too. Coming up this Saturday on the 10th, we have both Hats On for History, which is an interactive look at history, and then Meet the Authors. We've got a few local authors that will be available for meet and greets, autographs, and talking to them about their books. These will be happening on Saturday the 10th between 9 and 4. Free admission, free parking. Come on out and visit us. Wander the grounds, see all the cool things we have there. And then the following weekend is the Western Cowboy Weekend. Friday night, we have a fundraiser. It starts at 4:30. It's dinner and performance by Nathan Dean and the Damn Band. Barbecue dinner. It's $30 a person, so that one does cost a little bit of money, but it's a good evening to have some fun. Then Saturday the 18th, between 9 and 4, we're celebrating Western Cowboy Day, the whole history of the area, cowboys, Native American culture, the movie industry with all the Westerns, and all the actors that enjoyed being here come out and take a look at the Audie Murphy Barn and celebrate one of our great World War II heroes. He enjoyed spending time out here and filming movies out here. Thank you and see you soon.
Thank you. Andre Meek.
Golf clap. Got it. 2 out of 3 now.
Andre Meek, 1327 South Bel Air, here in AJ, Council, Mr. Mayor, for all these meetings that I've attended, been happy to say the prayer, been happy to say the pledge, and understand that some people, well, they can't do that, refuse to do it or whatever. And, you know, you expect that they would respect your feelings about it, sit there quietly and listen. But today, I saw something that really irked me. I saw someone in the audience, while the pledge was being said, throw up a straight-arm Nazi salute. And that, I feel, while within rights, it irks me to no end. And so anyway, wanted to get my feelings out on that. As far as the state, the county, and the city too, closing up all the BLM land and cleaning it off. Unfortunately, yeah, nobody can go in it anymore, but hopefully that means we won't have the drug homeless problem that and the garbage problem that happens out there in the desert. And, you know, I'm happy that that's gone on. I'm happy that they've got that. And then on another point, you know, people talk about homelessness, get them out of there, you know, you got to do something. Well, get off your ass and do something. Chip in where you can, you know, maybe go out and see just what a person's problem is. Maybe you can steer them in a direction that is a good direction. But, you know, I hear a lot of, you know, we got bums here, we got homeless here, we got all that, but, you know, just saying it, you know, you got to get off your butt and do something about it. So, about all I got.
Okay. Does council have any requests for follow-up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian, can you follow up with
I will.
Mr. Oley?
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other? Okay, I want to say thank you for everyone attending and with our learning curve on the wonderful speakers here.
What were you
One
thinking?
heck of a noise.